Hey everybody, my video is a little glitchy. Let me see if I can hide that. Here I am. Happy Free Tip Friday. Sorry, that beginning was a little rough. Sorry about that. Not my usual smooth transition there, right? Let me fix all of this. There we are. That's much better. I was clicking and nothing was responding, so sorry about that. Well, happy Christmas Eve. Happy Hanukkah. Happy solstice. Happy Friday. Whatever it is you're celebrating today around the world, it's great to have you all here. So, this is our right before the holiday break um, broadcast here on Friday, and it's great to have you all here. You know, so many of you have written in and sent us such great warm greetings of the season. So we really appreciate that. And as always, we are so grateful for you and your patronage of our little small bead business, but it's great that we get to see people that we love to bead with all over the world. So it's great to have you all here. Janice is doing some moderating over on YouTube and I think on Facebook. She's doing something fancy on the back end. So it looks like she is commenting and it's going out to all of our streams. We're streaming on Bead Shop, and also a big hello to those of you who are watching on the Great Bead Extravaganza pages as well. Great Bead Extravaganza is coming up, folks. It's coming up in January. You're going to see it in our newsletter, but the Great Bead Extravaganza Winter Wonderland starts with a preview on Friday night, January 13th. And then we broadcast all day Saturday and all day Sunday, the 14th and 15th. I'll be doing my segment on Saturday, January 14th. So stay tuned to the newsletters for more of that info, the Bead Shop newsletter. And I would be remiss if I didn't start out by saying, there it is, that you can find us, all things Bead Shop related, at beadshop.com on Instagram, on Facebook at The Bead Table, and you can hit that like, subscribe, and notification button right on YouTube. Folks, we are so close to 100,000 viewers on YouTube, or subscribers on YouTube, and it would really make my holiday season if you hit that subscribe button so we could reach that monumental mark. We're planning some really great things for 2023, and you're not going to want to miss it. Also, any of those social interactions that you do, those likes, those shares, all of that helps that all important algorithm find us and get us out to more people who love to bead. And of course, you can find all of the information on, I'm going to talk about products today. We're going to do a little quick project so you can kind of play around with what I've got. A quick knot that I'm going to share with you. And then you can find all of that information right over on our website at beadshop.com. And last but not least, today as I said, we're taking that deep dive into Chinese knotting cord. And you'll see that if you opened up your newsletter today, you will see that we are having kind of a Hanukkah surprises for you all this week. And today we are bringing one of our 8 days of specials. We are celebrating with 20% off Chinese knotting cord today only. That is Friday, December 23rd. No code needed. So just put it in your cart and it'll be 25% off. So that's what we've got. And coincidentally, I'm going to work with Chinese knotting cord today. So, gosh, so many of you have jumped on and are watching, and it's great to have you all here. one of the things that I've been thinking about as the year comes to a close is all of the really wonderful projects we've made this year. Next Wednesday will be my last Wednesday broadcast for the year, of course. It will be my traditional New Year's wrap. And I'm doing a whole new take, I guess, on the wrap. So I think you will love it. We've got some new products dropping for that wrap. And then a week from today, the last broadcast of the year on Free Tip Friday, I'm going to go over some of my very favorite projects from the year. I've got all the projects from the year just sitting here. So I'm going to go over those. So we'll do that next Friday. We'll take a deep dive into our favorite projects from 2022, or at least mine, or at least the ones I can find, or the ones that are finished. Whatever works. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at what I've got on my beadboard, shall we? All right, I'm going to take a bracing cup or drink of coffee. So bear just a moment. There we go. I am fortified and ready for this. Thanks. Oh, Jay, thanks. This is actually, I'll show you. A couple of people have asked about this. My holiday brooch I'm wearing today. This is from my jewelry, my vintage jewelry collection. Long story short, my mom, my gran, and I both love and loved shiny rhinestone jewelry. So this is the one that I've chosen to wear kind of this holiday. So I love green rhinestones. So that's what I've got on. So that's my story. So I hope you all, if you have vintage brooches in whatever form you like to wear them, put it on your hat or your sweater or whatever, on your bathrobe while you're vacuuming for last minute, whatever works for you. So yeah, reminds me of my college boyfriend who liked to wear my brooches. It's good times. Oh, the 80s. Anyway, so that walk down memory lane. So I want to share with you our Chinese knotting cord here. And as we said, Chinese knotting cord is on special today only, which is the 23rd of December. CKC, as we like to call it, or Chinese knotting cord, it's something that's very near and dear to my heart. It's a great product to not only knot with, but also to string with. And I have this piece, this is actually Ceylon that I'm going to show you, but I'm also going to show you this one in CKC. Bear with me a little bit. I'm grabbing some things off the back burner. This is a necklace that I made so many years ago. And this is actually with CKC, and it's with things, we carry discs still, but these are pieces since they were in our vintage finds collection. They came and they went. So, but this is a great piece if you want to play around with some of the Chinese knotting cord or Ceylon. This is regular Ceylon here. And as you know, we do a project, it's called Poetry. We do that with finer Ceylon, but these were some of those cranberry rounds. So the holes were really big. So I used Ceylon. You could also use CKC for this. And you can see how, what I like to say, thread forward with the macrame and then the threads around the outside of these beads. I think it's a real stunner. I made this actually for the holidays, and I quite a few years ago, and I wore it with kind of this black sheath, and I felt terribly chic. Another piece that we have here, and it actually has Chinese knotting cord. This is one that Allie did. Our precious Allie Mori did, and I believe she used 0.4 millimeter, and she did this beautiful round brick stitch mandala, more of which we're going to be doing in 2023. Also, quick tip, go to Dria's Instagram and see all the amazing earrings she's making. She's making them in this kind of style with some drops. They're really incredible. And again, we're going to explore some more of those in 2023. So Allie did this great piece, and she did at the top, see how she made she put a coil spacer, that's what I want to call it, the coil spacer right there, as the hanger. And then here, these two pieces of Chinese knotting cord, one connects to the coil spacer here, one connects over here, and it's just the spiral macrame, which is extremely timely because what I'm going to show you today is also a spiral macrame. And folks, it could not be easier to do. And so I hope you'll like it. So the Chinese knotting cord here, like I said, this is a 4. We carry it in 3. No, I'm sorry. I totally lied to you. This is a 5. This is. Because see, when I put the size 4 next to it, see, the 4 is a lot thinner. The size 4 is about the same size as regular Ceylon is. It's close. So it's a good substitution for it, right? So that's this one. And then we have the 5, the 0.5 millimeter here. And then we have the 0.8 millimeter, which is the thickest. And I think Dria's Instagram, Janice, do you want to pop over to Insta? And you can, I think it's Dria Beads. Well, Janice will grab it and she'll throw it in the chat. Because it's great. She also linked it in, if you go to the Bead Shop Insta, you'll see in our stories, I think there's a link to Dria's Insta as well. Another bracing sip of coffee, and let's get this knotting show on the road. So can you see what I did here? I started with some leather cording, all right? And the leather cording, I'm going to use, I want to use something light so you can see the stitches. I'm going to use this color, which is one of my favorites. It's Golden Toffee, and this is the 0.5 millimeter, okay? I'm just going to do a short segment here so you can see this, and then we're going to I think I'm going to be able to do the variation on this theme as well. I'm just going to cut a short piece because this is a demo piece for me. But let's maybe about 18 inches is what I'm cutting here. Just a short piece to play around with. Okay. So now what we're going to do, and you all know how to make this knot. You just don't know that you do. I'm going to get a little closer here. Am I still in focus? I am. I really am. I've been playing around with these settings, trying to get my focus back with these broadcasts. So I think this actually isn't too bad. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to attach this cord just with kind of like a little half hitch knot here. Okay. And I'm going to leave myself a little bit of the tail here so I can come back and finish this off however I'd want to finish it. Okay. So there's that. All right. So now we're going to do a simple spiral stitch, but it's a little different than this spiral. This is a spiral done with the 2 sides, and I'll show you, I can show you that too in a minute, but let's focus on this one. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to keep tying half hitches to the left, but instead of doing that square knot always that we do with the spiral, I'm going to just do it around like so, around this base cord. Okay, so this is leather that's 1.5 millimeter. And I'm just going to keep going. And I'm going to go kind of fast so that you can see what the result is. Now, if I had thicker cord, the spiral would be more pronounced. But see, can you see that? Let me get down a little closer. Can you see that spiral? How it's starting to form here like this? So let me just continue. I'm just doing this. You know how we say we have the Q side when we tie our knot, or the P side? I'm just going towards the Q, all in one, right here. And this is a knot that I used to tie when I used to make like friendship bracelets, even back in the day, talking about college boyfriends. Geez, we made so many. Our wrists were stacked with those macramé friendship bracelets we made sitting in the quad, right? Listening to, I don't know, REM or whoever we were listening to back in the day. Smithereens, right? So you just let this kind of curl, right, on its own. Now, the thing that you don't want to do here is you don't want your knot to inadvertently go the wrong way. So see how it's actually starting to curl on itself like this? So I actually want to bring it back so that my thread, my tying cord, my working cord stays on the left. If it starts to twist and look funny, it means that your whole piece has started to twist and you need to unclamp it and correct the twist. But see how that's coming around like that, right? And you can add this to your stack, right? I think it would look pretty cool. And I just happen to have sitting here, and I'm going to use a stack of these. I have these Happy Donuts that I love. They'll fit on this 1.5 millimeter cord. I can slide them up. And I can also, I think there's room to slide this cord through. I can also bring it around the outside if I wanted. Let me see if I can slide this up. Let me unclamp that. And any of our beads that have large holes, like our rollers or, those mixes, some of you have grabbed those mixes that I do with the glass beads that have the large holes. They look really great on this. Okay. My mom is saying I made those friendship bracelets even in grammar school. It's really true. I loved all kinds of knots and macrame and tatting. When I was little, my gran taught me how to just do tatting with my hands. You've heard me talk about that before. So I come by this knotting prowess pretty naturally. So see, I put beads on, and now I'm just going to keep going with that knot. I like having a leather cord. You could go up to 2 millimeter if you wanted. I have a feeling that this knot is going to make a reappearance in my year-end wrap next week. Let me twist this around. There we go. Because the cord that I'll be using is, dare I say it, a 5 millimeter round cord. It's going to look really cool. So I think you all will will like seeing that, excuse me. So here we are. So can you see how this spiral is coming around like this? Okay. And Janice is also saying the Miyuki cubes, that would look great with this. They would fit on the leather. So they're really fun. So let me see if I can create, I'm going to set this one aside. This actually may all end in tears, but I'm going to see. I was fiddling around with my here. Let me give you something to look at, not having a blank screen. I was fiddling around with all of my settings, so I didn't quite have time to do this as to prep this second step as much as I wanted to, but oh well, c'est la vie. Let me get set here. Bear with me here just a second. This, what do I want to say? This spiral, I think it'll come really in handy. I think you could mix this with your regular macrame. I think it would be cool. So let me show you what I'm thinking here. This is the same idea, but I'm going to use 2 cords. So let me get this prepped. That's what Free Tip Friday is all about. I know you guys don't mind when I fly by the seat of my pants. I'm doing fine, Nancy. Everything's good with me. I just haven't been talking enough today, so I don't think my voice is quite ready, but we're all good here at Casa Richburg Dosher. We're good. I'm going to cut 2 pieces of cord here. Let me lift this up a little bit. And this is the 1 millimeter, I think this is. And I'm going to clip it to my board here. I'm going to bring it across. And I'm going to clip it to my board on the other side. Okay. Now, let me get some of this again. This is a good contrast, pretty high contrast here. This is the golden toffee. I'm going to clip this. And I'm going to start this like we would do regular macrame. Okay, we'd bring it around, right? We'd find the center. And we would start with our P side, or our Q side rather. We'd pull it through and we'd tighten. And we'll do the same thing on this side with our P side. Bring it over underneath and tighten. If you need a refresher on kind of this basic macrame, the flat square stitch that we use so much, you can find it on in our skill builders right on our website. So now I'm going to count 5 of the stitches that I'm going to do to the left. Okay, so let me do like I did with this spiral, but hopefully 5 will give me something that's kind of flat like that. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see what 5 look like. Okay, so let's count this together. That's 1. This is 2. This is 3. This is 4. And this is 5. Okay, and that 5 should make kind of like a little scallop. 5 is like kind of right before things start to turn. Okay, so now I'm going to take my right hand cord. I'm just going to bring it down. I'm going to tie 1, tie it in place. This might be a good place for a bead. I'm also going to kind of push this little spiral, this little 5 stitches I made kind of up tight like that. And I'm going to do 5 on this side. 1, so the scallop is going to go the opposite way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Kind of push that up a little bit, tighten it up, and let's bring this one down. And let's do, I'm going to try 6. Okay. 1. Maybe I want this to be just a little bit longer. I don't know. I haven't really experimented with it yet. I'm experimenting it along with you. That's 3. That's 4. That's 5. And that's 6. There we go. Now let's push that up. You also will probably see this. See how I'm laying the groundwork? There's a method to my madness. You also may see this on the year-end wrap next week. So let's go ahead and add a bead. Because see how these look cute, open, like that. But let's add a bead there too. And I'm going to get a little closer with the camera so you folks can see it. But bear with me here while I tie this down. And then we'll do another one with 6, and then I'll take it off and we'll look at the stitch. So here's 1. And you kind of have to get it in there. There we go. Nice and tight. 1, 2, going to this opposite, all on one side. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yes. Yes, friends. Look at that. Just one more. I just want to do one more. Let me see if I can get a little tighter. Keep that in focus. Let's do one more. I see in the chat over on YouTube, Christine made this great file. If you haven't looked at the files in our bead table bead group, there is so much good info in the files. And Christine made a thread chart way back in the day that has the text. I need to go after you update it, Christine. I need to go and print it out again, because honestly, I have that printout by my work table. So if I need to figure out what text and what size things are, I refer to your wonderful chart. So if you haven't done so already, jump over to the bead table, join, and go to our files. And if you've kind of forgotten about files, because sometimes I do, to be honest, it's really, it's packed full of really helpful stuff, right? So helpful tips and all kinds of stuff like that. So take a look at this knotting. It's kind of cool. So Nancy's asking this question. It's a good question. Let me see. Do you think you would still see the knotting if you were doing it with micro Ceylon and maybe pearls instead of shadows? I think it would be fine. I think it would just be small, but it would be delicate. And you may want more than 5. You may need 10 to get that space in between. I don't think this is limited to any size. I chose this size because it's easy to see on the on the broadcast. But can you see how cool this looks? This kind of has a tilt one way and then a tilt the other. So I think a section of this in my year-end wrap is going to look, if I do say so myself, pretty good, right? So I'm pretty happy with it. So it's the same technique. It's that half hitch, right? That half hitch going one way and then going the other. So here it is, just one, that single strand going around the leather cord right here. And here it is with two. Let me neaten this up so I don't have all of these cords sitting around. Though, let me show you what I might do with this if I was going to close this up, just to show you how I'd end it. I would probably slide this sucker up a little, if I could, towards that knot, because maybe I want it a little tighter. And see how when I slide it up, the spiral tightens up a little bit, which I like. Then I would get a little bit of GS Hypo right here, and I'm not going to do it because I don't want to struggle with this cap. I would add my GS Hypo, I'd let that dry, and then I'd thread burn that off. And then what I might do if I were connecting this to something, right? Maybe I'd connect it to a button. Maybe I wouldn't even thread burn that off. Let me see. I've got a button sitting here because I've been cleaning my space, trying to get ready for 2023. Let's see if this button goes in. I could use this little charmer, right? And you could, just to make it sturdier, instead of thread burning that off, I think it'll fit through the shank of that button. Maybe. Let me open that up and see if I can get this through. I'm so stubborn when it comes to getting thread through tiny little holes, right? But I guess that's held me in good stead. Let's see. Can I get it through there? Well, you know what yes, here we go. Right when I was ready to give up. Don't give up, folks. Don't give up. So I could just tie a knot with everything like this, right? Or I could bring it back on itself and silk wrap it closed here, right? And then make a loop on the other side, right? That would be a great way to close that off. I could, like with this other one, this could be the loop side, and I could do the button side on this, on this configuration, or I could pull, I don't know if this is going to pull or not. And that's pretty, well, no, there we go. I could have started with a button on this cord here, right? Slide this down so the button is kind of tight, so the button's on there, right? This is just obviously a sample, but then do all of this business and then close it off like we do a lot of our wrap bracelets, with a knot and a loop and maybe another knot that'll go to that button, if that makes sense. So, my dear bead friends, get ready. Remember these configurations, because you're going to see these again next week during year-end wrap. So we've got the Chinese knotting cord, as I showed you, the 3 different. Let me just do a quick comparison of sizes so you can see them side by side, because I did say we were going to talk a little bit about the Chinese knotting cord. So let me just show you those differences. The 0.4 millimeter, the 0.5, and the 0.8. Okay, let me grab some CKC, some regular CKC. I've got that sitting right here. That regular Chinese knotting cord and that 0.4 millimeter Chinese knotting cord and the regular Ceylon are really close in size. The regular Ceylon, I think, is actually a little larger. It kind of comes in between this 0.4 and 0.5 kind of here. Okay. And then here is that 0.8. All right. So I hope that you all enjoyed that short, deep dive into uh, into the CKC, as well as this spiral macrame knot using one thread, and then the scallop spiral. I think that's what I'm going to call it, the scallop spiral, or the scallop knot, maybe, because I don't know if it's going to quite spiral. But you will see that again on Wednesday when I do my traditional year-end wrap, and I think you're going to love it. And then Friday, a week from today, will be our last broadcast of 2022. I'm going to gather all of my favorites that we've done this year. My favorite projects. We'll take a walk down memory lane. And Janice wanted to remind everyone, and I put up the chat from the Great Bead Extravaganza. Don't forget to check. You can find a great place to find all of our new products. Just go to our Just In. It says new arrivals up on the top, and you'll see everything that's just new and that we've just added to the website. And of course, let me end by saying you can find all of our content all over social media. Follow us at beadshop.com on Instagram, at the Bead Table over on Facebook, our wonderful group that has so many great helpers. And again, you can find the files, stuff that we don't keep anywhere else but in that group. And of course, you can hit that like, subscribe, and notification button over on YouTube so we can build our subscriber base. We really, really appreciate that. And folks, if you do make something with Bead Shop product, or you make a Bead Shop project, go ahead and tag us on Instagram so we can add you to our stories. We would love to have to add you so everyone can see the beautiful things you've been making. Also, don't forget all of the information on the product. Hop right over to beadshop.com, and don't forget to sign up for our newsletter for all of the latest of the latest. I have a special holiday mix, a seed bead mix that you're not going to want to miss. That's dropping in the next few days. I'm going to say, I haven't looked at the launch calendar, but it's coming in the next few days. And also, if you haven't opened your newsletters this week, we have had deals every day for the Hanukkah season. And today it's 20% off Chinese knotting cord. How timely. So if you jump over today, Friday, December 23rd, you don't even need a coupon code. You just jump in. So those of you who have rewards points in our VIB program, you can apply those rewards points as well. Also, if you've been reading our newsletters, you've had a holiday message from each of us over here at Bead Shop. And the stories, I just loved everybody's stories. The stories that everyone has shared. Today is Dria's that she shared, which is a great story. And so if you haven't gone back and read those, you can have a little peek into some of our traditions, our holiday traditions. So thank you all. This time as the thank goodness we've made it past solstice, so the light is returning. But in this season of reflection, I just wanted, from all of us here at beadshop.com, we wanted to wish you all the happiest and healthiest of holiday seasons, however you celebrate, or if it's just another regular day on your calendar. Either way, we want you to know that we are so grateful for all of you, because without you out there, our small business here wouldn't be able to survive. So thank you so, so much. Happy holidays to each of you, and I will see you next Wednesday for year-end wrap. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.